Okay, so our next step is going to be locating our holes to be drilled. So we're going to start with our foot-long inch ruler. We're going to make our measurements, as our blueprint calls, 1/2, 1.5 inches, and 2.5 inches from the edge. After I have those 3 marks done, I'm going to take my square. I'm going to use my square as a straight edge. So I'm going to make sure it's really good and straight on my project. Now I'm just going to scribe my line on each of these 3 lines. Probably pretty difficult to tell, but you have 3 lines, one here, and one here. I can make it darker for you by using a Sharpie. So line 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2.5 inches from the edge. Now you can probably see those a little bit clearer. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to mark these as a plus, because I want to find the exact center of this piece of metal. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a marking gauge, and when we take our marking gauge, we're going to set it to 3/8 of an inch. The reason we set it to 3/8 is because this piece of band iron is 3/4 of an inch wide. So half of 3/4 is 3/8. So I've got my marking gauge set here to 3/8. So then all I'll do, mark the centers, and then I can darken those up so we can see those, my marker. So now you've got 3 plus marks on your project. There's also a hole 1 inch or 1/2 of an inch from this edge. So you're going to have to mark it just the exact same way that you did. So we'll make our mark 1/2. Use our square again. Three-eighths, making my mark, and so we can see it on the video. There's my hole location. When you're preparing a project to be drilled, you then need to use your punches. So you've got 2 punches. The one is the center punch and the other is the prick punch. You're going to start with the center punch first, which is this guy, or your prick punch first. This one is the sharper pointed one, and then this one obviously would be duller. So the reason we have to use both of these, the prick punch goes first to pinpoint locate and give you a nice depth of your initial punch, and then the center punch, as you can see, it's a lot wider. That's going to give you the opportunity to make your hole larger. So you would just take your punch, put it in the center location, give it a hit. If you're having trouble getting a good enough punch, you can use the corner of the vise, so kind of as an anvil. Set it up here like this, punch, punch, flip it around, punch. Don't forget to use your center punch next. Gotta make sure that you're using both. So now we've got dots here, here, and here, and here. So we can actually drill these on the drill press. The next thing is make sure that you punch your numbers down on the one hole side. So my numbers are going to go right in this area here. may be difficult to see, but now all my numbers are punched down on this area. The next step in the layout portion is to mark where your bend and twist lines are going to be. So from your blueprint, you will see that your bend lines are 2 inches and 3 inches away from the edge, from the 3-hole edge, and your twist line where you're going to start your twist is 4 inches. So make your mark at 4 inches. Go back to your square once again. Make sure your lines are nice and straight. And then I'm going to draw over them with a Sharpie so I can see my line, and you can see it very good on the video, where we're going to cut, or excuse me, where we're going to bend these and twist these. Bend lines are labeled with 3 circles. That's the only one that you're going to mark, the only 2. So as you can see pretty closely here, this is a bend line because it's got the 3 circles. This is a bend line because it has 3 circles. This one does not have the circles. This is where you're going to start your twist. That does it for the layout portion. The next demonstration will be over drilling and countersinking.